we can get everyone on board for some matching grants. So I'm excited to share the wisdom of two veterans of matching grants and in fundraising in general. Mary Trotta is here, who was with Camp Wamp and is still providing her expertise as they go into Give Back Tahoe. And Camp Wamp is part of the Wampler Foundation, and they had a really successful matching grant campaign last year. So, Mary, why don't you tell us a little bit about Camp Wamp, the mission, and then we'll go into some more questions.
Great, thank you, and thanks for having me here. All right, so Camp Wamp is, we run a summer camp up on Donner Summit for kids with physical disabilities. And so the kids get to come to camp for a week at a time. We do it for 4 weeks. And I'm sorry if you can hear my gardener in the background. He shows up on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. So anyway, so we have the kids come up for a week at a time. They sleep under the stars. We have a 1-to-1 camper to counselor ratio, and these kiddos get to have a week of typical summer camp. And it's a whole lot of fun, and it's 100% funded by donations. So there's no cost for the kids to attend. And so my job as development director is fundraising all year long. And I come from a background in sales. So before I joined Camp Wamp, which was back in 2019, for about 20 years, I was in tech sales. So and the last 13 years of it was a multi-channel marketing software platform. So I'm obsessed with marketing and multi-channel and sales in general. And I've known the Wamplers, the founders of the Wampler Foundation, since I was a teenager. And so, I grew up kind of volunteering at Camp Wamp and always wanted to be a part of it. And so as time went on, I ended up leaving sales and bringing that sort of skill set into fundraising. And so for me, we talk about the matching grants. My success in sales over 20 plus years before Camp Wamp came from just urgency, building a network of people, building relationships, and then urgency on specific days. So in the past, in my sales career, there's always like the last day of the month or the last day of the quarter, last day of the year where you're pushing to reach those goals. So we had a very specific revenue goal, and you just, pull out all the stops to make it. And so I came into this Giving Tuesday world in the nonprofit world with sort of the same mentality. Giving Tuesday is the Super Bowl of, days for nonprofits. And so we have a very specific plan. We're going to raise X amount of money on that day, and we're going to do everything we can to raise the urgency, get excited, just, put it out there on all channels possible. Now back to the matching grant, the way I approached that the last 2 years in a row was, we have donors who want to give. And we have donors who, give decent amount of money. So this one particular donor, I approached him and asked him, hey, we've got this program. I explained all about Give Back Tahoe and, the tools that were available and how we were going to leverage it. And then told him about the matching grant and how that would make it easier for us to promote it and raise money. And so I gave him a good explanation of what we were doing. And he was like, yes, I want to be a part of it. He didn't want to be named in it. He just wanted to put his dollars behind it. And so we started out last year or 2 years ago with a $10,000 matching grant from him. And then throughout the day, as our day went on and we were really pushing through text messaging and email marketing and social media, I kept him informed. So I was texting him saying, oh my gosh, we're almost there. We've got this much more, and really made him a part of it, and which he loved. And then the following year, which was last year, I went back to him again. I said, it's that time of year again. Would you consider doing it again? And of course, he remembered the experience, and he came back again. And then we also got a second matching donor with the same process. We kind of anticipated their donation anyway. We asked them to be a part of this particular program. And so we had 2 matching donors last year, so we had a total of 18,000. So, and then as far as the day went and planning ahead, so right now you have 49 days to go until Giving Tuesday. And so if you think about what it's going to take, we need to know who we're going to market to. So we pull our list, we use Salesforce, CRM, and we pull our list, and we've segmented our list for, potential new people and people who have given before. And then we set up our messaging and our plan. And, we're a very small team. There's only 4 people on our team that work year round, and we work closely together, and everybody had their plan. So as far as my friends go, I have a pretty big friends list. Every single one of them got a text message from me in the morning saying, hey, here's this opportunity. It's Giving Tuesday. Here I am with my hand out again. I have no shame in asking for money because of this cause. I believe in it. They know it's my job. And, I just really kind of amplify the impact of what their dollars will give. So I feel like I'm going all over the place, but Ashley, is there anything else you need me to hit on?
Taking all of your notes and putting them in the chat for those of us who like to read to learn. So I think you're hitting on everything. I think one thing that I really love about your approach is like, don't be shy with your networks. Like, you really believe in this cause that you work for, um, all of you, so much, and you give your life to it, and your stress and your sweat and your tears sometimes. So
Yeah,
like, why stop there? Why not just reach out to your networks and just show them how much you love them? And I've never had someone react negatively to that. I mean, sure, people might not donate, but they're excited for you, they support you. And so
right.
I love that. And even communicating that to your board and staff as well is part of your job, like, get them excited and really normalize the idea of singing from the rooftops your cause. I'd
Yes.
love to step back to cover 2 things. The first is when you said leading up to the date and pulling your donor lists. What I pulled from that is like you segment each list for how each category likes to relate to your messaging. Do you like have some people you text and some people you email, or do you have like certain people on your team reach out to certain segments, or what is like the practicality of that?
So for us, so we have a pretty big social media presence. And so I don't know if you guys are following on Instagram. I'll give a plug. If you go to the.wampler.way, you know, you'll see kind of our vibe. And the funny thing is that we don't ask for donations during the year. I mean, it's so rare that on social media that we ask for money, and it's very deliberate. And so we sort of save that for big days like Giving Tuesday. And maybe at the end of the year, it's the end of the year, you can still get your tax deduction. Don't forget, now's the time. And so we segment for Giving Tuesday, we have a huddle, ready, set, go. We all do the texting, go text your friends. We do an email campaign to everybody. We do segment, people who have given over and over again. The message may be a little bit different. But again, there's 4 of us. So Elizabeth and Steve manage the social media side of it. One year, we didn't do it last year, but the year before, we actually went live on TikTok all day from morning to night. And we had a telethon, and it was crazy. And we have 750,000 plus followers on TikTok. And so all day long we were there, like, come on, just $5, because there was a challenge grant at the time. So $5 counts. And so we did that. But I think just getting creative and having fun with that day. And then throughout the day with our team, we're constantly checking in because we're all remote. So we're checking in with, all right, how many do you have? And we're watching the board on the Give Back Tahoe page. We're watching those donations rolling in, and we're sharing that on social media. We're sharing that, wherever we can. So it's just like a big day. It's like from morning to night, we give it our all. And I would say, I didn't look and measure it, but I'd say 90% of our donations come in on that day, and it really does drop off. But, we raise like $39,000 last year. That included the matching grants, but it was a big day. We also had, I don't know if you would call this a benefit or not, but we had a specific messaging in our campaign last year. We had a scholarship fund. So our kids, if we look at our whole budget, and our goal is to get 100 kids up there. So it's about $3,500 per kid is what it costs us to run Camp Wamp for a season. And so we call those like camperships. So we go out to businesses and say, will you sponsor a kid? And so we did some of those. We had a couple donors who sponsored 2 kids, and they, put that in there. And so we had a specific scholarship fund that we did for last year, which was really super helpful. So I think I'm pretty sure that's about all I had to say about it.
There
Any
was
other?
one other win that you shared with me, and it was around the donor who gave the matching grant. And so to reiterate, rather than just treating it like a transaction, like, oh, they gave me this $10,000 and I'll report back at the end. I think that's something that your team really unlocked, is keeping that donor up to date throughout it, because
Yes.
people want to be a part of our missions. Like, they are passionate and they just can't work for us all. Like, everyone can't work for your mission, right? So creating this new way of engaging and being like intimately involved with the energy and the progress and the like ticker of going up, 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 up,
Yes. Yes.
um, is so exciting. And then wasn't another win from that was the next time you called, they
Yeah.
said,
So his name is Craig, and the funny thing is I've been with Wamp for 5.5 years, and I have never met Craig. And he has a place in Tahoe, and we have tried so many times for him to come by camp, and we want to meet in person. I've never even seen him on Zoom. It's all been on the phone, this relationship we have, and on text. And he I feel like he's my friend, and I've never met him. And we've just done that throughout the year. I stay in touch with him. Hey, here's what's going on, and the money that you've donated, I send him a picture of some of the kids having fun. And so throughout the year, I make him feel the impact that he supported. So really feel it. And so it's that's just, like that's just how it works with him. So this year, it was probably about 2 months ago, I called him up and I said, hey, maybe it was 3 months ago. And I said, hey, Give Back Tahoe's coming again. Do we have your commitment again this year? And he said, you know what, you have my commitment every year for it. So just count on it. So now I have this, indefinite commitment of $10,000 a year for this. And I didn't ask him for that in the first year, but now he's done it twice. He feels a part of it. And all of our donors, we just try and show them, you're not just, like you said, it's not a transaction. It's, you're changing lives with every dollar that comes in.
And I love that idea of like that you have taken a sponsor relationship and the touch points you have throughout the year, because I think a lot of times we encourage nonprofits, right, to have a couple touch points with donors at least after the giving event is over, and then you let them know like where did their dollars go, how did things go. But the fact that you have turned this like what could have been a large donation, sponsored this, here's how it went, goodbye, next year, you've turned it into this year-round relationship that is then developed into just like someone who is giving you this like lifetime commitment to your organization. And I think that's a wonderful success story for people to take home is, it's easy to apply that feeling to a person, right? To Craig, because he sounds like he's just an angel human that like you're very fortunate to have come across. But like you can even think about that if you have a local business that is sponsoring a match, right? A lot of times we feel like a business is not a face, it's just a thing, right? But like there's people there that want to support you. So, even regardless of where that sponsorship money comes from, like are there lessons you can learn from what was just shared for how you might be able to steward that relationship to continue having that sponsor that's going to come back and be so impactful for your organization year round. That's a really cool story.
You know what? I have one more thing that I thought of too is, so a lot of corporations on Giving Tuesday will match, 100% of the donations specifically on Giving Tuesday. And so BlackRock Financial, they have a San Francisco office. They're, you know, one of the hugest financial organizations in the world, and they're a big sponsor of Camp Wamp. They support us in so many ways. And so last year on Giving Tuesday, they had a match, and then we had a match. And so what we encouraged them to do was go donate through the Give Back Tahoe page. You'll get a receipt. Go put that donation in your, they use Benevity. Put that in Benevity on that same day to show that you donated, and then you get another match. And so we had multiple people, you know, they pledge $1,000, so it becomes $2,000 with us, and another $1,000 through BlackRock. So then they felt, I just gave $3,000. So I would say, think ahead about those donors of yours that are with corporations, because most corporations do have a giving platform, and they leverage Giving Tuesday. So.
Oh, Mary, thank you so much. I think that kind of to what Natalie was saying, the thing that Mary has like taught me is that it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to have this big reason to reach out to your donors or your networks. Just remember that people are in relationship with you and they want to hear from you, and you can easily like form friendships and relationships with people that are really rooted in like an authentic connection that goes way beyond just like asking for money, or them feeling like every time you call you're gonna like ask for something. So I love that. And if you could go to the next slide, Natalie. So Mary is available for freelance services. She really is so inspired by the work that she's been doing with nonprofits and is really good at it. And so if you either this year or coming up have the desire to connect with her, then you should. Here's her contact information.
Thank you